back to work. In his first policy speech since re-election, U.S. President Barack Obama invited congressional leaders to the White House to start negotiating a deal, one that would prevent the so-called fiscal cliff of sharp tax hikes and spending cuts from going into effect at the end of the year.
So what we now have is a situation where these automatic spending cuts go into place. Now, if we have raised some revenue by the wealthy paying a little bit more, that would be sufficient to turn off what's called the sequester, these automatic spending cuts.
If we're serious about reducing the deficit, we have to combine spending cuts with revenue.
Put the white on the flam for your temper. Just toss that ham in the frying pan like spam and done when
what we said was give us $1.2 trillion in additional revenues, which could be accomplished without hiking tax rates, but could simply be accomplished by eliminating loopholes, eliminating some deductions, and engaging in a tax reform process that could have lowered rates generally while broadening the base.
President Obama's plan, a balanced approach that asks the wealthy to pay a little more, cuts government spending, and reduces the deficit by $4 trillion.
As much of the world was ringing in the new year, lawmakers on Capitol Hill were ringing in a plan to avoid the so-called fiscal cliff.
The bill, as amended, is passed.
But what exactly is in it? Here are some highlights of the plan passed by the Senate. The measure would raise taxes by about $600 billion over 10 years. It extends decade-old tax cuts on incomes of up to $400,000 for individuals or $450,000 for couples. Earnings above that would be taxed at 39.6%, up from 35%. It would raise taxes on capital gains and dividend income for people with those earnings from 15 to 20%. It permanently addresses the alternative minimum tax and indexes it for inflation. This will prevent nearly 30 million middle and upper middle income taxpayers from being hit with higher tax bills. It extends for 5 years expansions of the child tax credit, the earned income tax credit, and a tax credit for college tuition. It extends jobless benefits for the long-term unemployed for 1 year. It would delay for 2 months across-the-board cuts to Pentagon and other agencies' budgets. It blocks a 27% cut in Medicare payments to doctors for 1 year. And it restores the payroll tax to 6.2%. The House is expected to vote on the bill sometime either Tuesday or Wednesday. Jerry Bodlander, Associated Press.
I refuse to accept any approach that isn't balanced.